So I am super excited about this episode because my guest from episode 165, I had multiple abortions, hit me up in my DMs saying that she is ready to share her story about working at a sex brothel. Now, remind y'all, I was high as hell off an edible. So I was like, wait, what happened? It took me so long to process what you said because I'm like, wait, what did she say?
Oh my God.
So once again, thank you so much for sharing your story again. So how
No worries. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I love the conversations you have. I feel like I'm a part of them when I listen to your show. So,
right?
yeah, it's just like girl talk and life talk and stuff. So,
It's giving Oprah from the hood, no?
yes, like new age Oprah. Like,
Right? It's giving Carisha before Carisha.
right. Yeah, I love it. So, thank you again for having me back.
Of
And
course. So what made you want to share your story?
Well, I've been writing about my story for a while now.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, and like being a little more open about experiences and like processing different things. And it's just such a great I mean, people there's these are things people don't know, people don't think about. And I feel like I have a movie on my hands, but anyway, yeah, it's just a good topic. It's a hush hush taboo topic, and I live a life that like people don't even know.
Yeah, I always say one of my favorite sayings about the professional homegirl is one of the main reasons why I encourage people to share their stories because you never know how your storyline can be somebody else's lifeline.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's what's up. That's fire.
Mhm.
So, what were your thoughts on sex workers before you worked at a brothel?
Um, Before I worked at a brothel, I was a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked in strip clubs. I had been doing it maybe a few years prior, so it's always been like a green light. Sex workers are real workers. They get
Mm-hmm.
paid to do a service just like anybody else.
Right. Yeah, I gotta hang out with you, man, because man, you just never know who you be talking to these days. Like,
Yeah, this
I feel like you lived a full life.
I definitely have lived a full life. I started dancing when I was uh let's say I've been doing it for a number of years, longer than I ever thought I would be, right?
Oh wow.
Typical like college life, like need to make money, gotta pay the bills, whatever.
It's giving diamond.
Yeah, the name.
Just overall.
Oh, just overall, yeah. Um, but yeah, it was always something I was, growing up, the stigma is, strippers are bad, sex work is bad, all that negativity. But I didn't have that outlook on it even before I was, you know, a dancer.
Hmm.
Like I respected it. Like it's a great hustle, it's empowering. Like if you're hot, fucking
Right.
capitalize.
I want to ask you what your name was, but you could tell me off the air
I'll
because
tell you
I'm
off because I
intrigued.
don't. It's a good one. People will
Oh,
figure it
I
out.
know it's a good one. So, what are your thoughts on decriminalizing sex work?
Oh man, I really it's like it's not a thing yet. Like why are we still dealing with this?
Right.
But then again, in this country we live in, it's not surprising. But I feel like it's a real job. Like people who do it on the low here in the United States, like, you know, it could lead to like sex trafficking and like abuse and like just being exploited. And if you're in control of what you do and the law backs you up, it's safer and it just makes more sense.
Right.
But because it's not really looked at as a traditional profession. And
I mean, it is the oldest profession.
it's like going to get a haircut.
Right.
I need like titties in my face, or I need a pedicure, or I need
I need a blowjob.
yeah, like any of those things I could need today.
Right.
And I could pay to get all those. Awesome.
Did your friends know about this?
Yeah, so I told my friends, let's see, they knew I danced. Like when I first started dancing, they knew that was a thing, like my siblings. Working at a brothel, this happened when I was out of the country. So nobody knew about it. Eventually I let, certain people know, just because, you know, there's so many cool things to talk about, and it's like you have all these fun secrets and you can't have these conversations because you're afraid. Like, fuck that. My friends love me, they know who I am.
Right.
But yes, now most of like my close friends, they know.
What were their reactions?
um let's see, I don't think they were surprised.
Mm,
It was cool, most because, like, I go a little outside the box in a lot of things, so I don't even think it was a surprise. It was more just like, oh wow, like let's hear the juicy details. Like, oh
right.
my God, like how did that make you feel? How did that work for you? Like, yeah. But when people figure it out, they really want to know like all the good details.
Yeah, because I want to know all the
I
details.
know.
I'm just warming up. So how long did you work there?
Let me think. So I want to say a total of like 3 months.
Mm,
I was abroad. I'm not going to say which country, but in the country I was abroad, certain areas it was legal and they had like establishments.
mm-hmm.
And I danced over in that country as well. But then it's like, I was just so curious. I'm like, dude, you just got to try it. So I did it for about 3 months.
So how did you end up there? Like,
Google, I did a little Google search. I read some reviews of different establishments. I read like blogs from other sex workers in other countries and other, just other cities, and kind of get a feel for like the culture as far as like what you can see online, like, like answer questions. And I jumped on the tram and took myself down there. And it was interesting, not knowing, because when you're a dancer, you just go into a club and you say, hey,
right,
I would like to dance on your stage this evening. Like,
right.
please, sir. And most of the time they audition you. A lot of times, most of the times they do. They'll be like, all right, let me see you do a dance or something, or like, oh, you're hot, come on in, like whatever. But I didn't know, like, do you have to audition for this?
Yo, that's my next question. Like, did you have to because when I was doing research on this, because there are popular sex workers that talk about their journey and working in sex brothels. And I was like, damn, like some of them had to like audition, some of them had to like fill out an application, go on an interview. So what was that
Okay.
process like?
So the place I went to, I just went in and spoke with the what's she called? Not the house mom, the head bitch, the madam.
Madam?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yes.
I went to speak to her, and she was like, she looked like a lunch lady. Like, I'm like, how are you here? Like, what is this? It was so crazy. It's like this nice little old lady, like, oh, have you done this? Oh, you're from America? Like, that's great. It's different. It's legal, like whatever. So I went in and I think I filled out paperwork. Nothing crazy, just like basic, like, information.
And they have to do a background check on you too, right?
They didn't do a background check on me. I did have a visa for that country, so that they saw the visa. And then they gave me paperwork to go to the doctor and get a physical and STD check, AIDS test, all that.
Right.
Yeah. And then after, you had like a week or so to get that paperwork in, and then you can get to work.
Oh wow. And are there any requirements? Because I know when I was reading about brothels in Nevada, they was saying how you couldn't have any felonies or anything on your record within a certain time frame.
So because of the visa I had, because the visa I had just to be in that country, I couldn't be there with felonies. So maybe that, like, for them was like, you're in the clear, you're eligible to be here, you're a different, from a different nation.
Right.
But as far as like their rules, I don't know. Like I don't know. I'm sure in that country it's like the same. You got to get a background check and a license and all that at some point.
Right. So when you saw, like when you walked into the brothel, like what did it look like? Like, did it like a normal house or was it like sexed out?
The sorry if you hear barking in the back.
No, you're good.
Okay. So it was like a house, this particular one. You go in and it was a house that had 2 levels and then like a kind of like a second and a half level anyway, but it was like old like dark paneling or dark wallpaper. You walk in to one side, there's like a room with a bed in it and like a shower and toilet and whatever. Straight ahead was like the desk, and then like to the left there was like the intro room where the men would come in and sit in these 2 separate rooms. There was like a woman's like sitting area, not the dressing room, I guess kind of like a dressing room,
Like a lounge?
yeah, like a lounge, like TV and like refrigerator, microwave, and that's where the girls would hang on the couch until your turn. um and yeah, you go upstairs and it's just a bunch of rooms, bunch of bedrooms, and some of them had double beds, some of them had like or 2 king beds, some of them just had like 1 king bed. Some had like big tubs, some just had stall showers.
Oh, it was
Every
going
room,
down.
yeah, every room had a bathroom, towels and blankets and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was dark, like dark, sexy, like I'm trying to picture it like red carpeted floor and
Not the
like
red carpet,
wooden,
child.
wooden banister. Like the
Oh.
windows were blacked out, so the light from the street couldn't come in. So it kept
Mm-hmm.
like a nice low, warm vibe in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was cozy, music playing down the hallway.
It's giving Cinemax porn.
Yeah, yes, yes, definitely.
Remember the porn on Cinemax when you ain't got no
Yeah,
business watching it?
like slow and like smoky.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Did you have to negotiate the prices yourself with the clients, or does the sex brothel do that for you?
So they had set rates by time, and then there was like a standard rate, and then you can do like a deluxe rate. So a standard booking is like, I think it went like 30-minute interviews. Standard booking would be like just like 1 round. So I don't even know how to word it. Like they can come like 1 time, oral on the male or on the customer with a condom, and like a massage or whatever, like foreplay or whatever.
Also, it don't have to be penetration.
Um, I mean, yeah, it does, unless that's not what they want, or unless you have like you can come up, you could say like, okay, these are your standard. I think everything is penetration. Like they definitely get like to penetrate you and come 1 time in a standard booking. If they want to come multiple times, then that's when you start adding on taxes. Like, oh, you want to kiss me on my mouth? That's an extra whatever. You want to you want to be pegged? That's an extra whatever. You want to go down on me? That's like triple. Like,
Right.
so, but the basic is like massage, oral, sex. You want to come 5 times, that's going to cost you more.
Damn, how much would it cost to come 5 times? Who got time to come 5 times?
Most of them don't. Most of them were just like,
Right.
an average, like I think the lowest booking you could do was at this particular one, 30 minutes. Within 12 minutes, your work is done. And
Right.
just like lay there and like talk and or whatever. But
So
yeah.
walk us through your first day and how you were feeling.
Oh my God. Okay.
Were you high on your first day?
I probably did smoke before I went in. I smoke a lot of weed. Let's see. Remember I got there. I had, went in before, introduced myself, did the paperwork. went to the doctor the next day, came back, and I think my shift was like an early shift. Eventually I like switched over to like a later, like a 10 to 6 kind of shift or
Like
something
a
like
10 p.m.?
yeah, like an
Mhm.
overnight thing. But before, I think my first few shifts were like 5 or 6 p.m. and then stay till like 1 or midnight or 2. You can really
Mm,
stay as long as you want. There
right.
were no rules. Like you just, I mean, there were rules, but like they did not tell you when to work or how long
Mm.
to work. So, first day I go in there and like they line, you wait in the room, the lounge, and like talk to the girls, and they have like computer or TV screens on the mounted on the wall with the camera that faces the front door and like all the cameras, so you can see what's going on all times. So then like someone will walk in and you can see who walks in before they even know you're there, just in case you don't want to see somebody. So
Wait, is there cameras in the room?
not in the rooms where you do
Okay.
your bookings, but in the hallways.
Okay.
So customer comes in, they go into the intro room and all the ladies line up. I felt like I was in elementary school. You line up, you're all cute and shit, like lingerie and heels, and then you just walk one at a time. You go in the room, hi, my name is so and so. And you tell them like your any specials or any like deluxe experiences. Like obviously you're gonna get the basics, but like if you want anything more deluxe, this is what it is, this is what it will cost you.
And what's deluxe?
So like I said before, like if you
Oh, no, no, no. Like, but when it comes to like, let's say you get a client, do you have to do the deluxe or can you customize your own
no,
deluxe? Okay.
you can make your, so like some girls like anal. So
Right.
like that's part of their deluxe. Like if you want to do anal, like that's deluxe. Or if you
Ooh,
want,
child.
some girls have toys or like do toy shows, or like just
Right.
different types of things you would normally do in like, the bedroom. Just like you want to take the basics, like dick and vagina,
Right.
that's what you pay for. If you want anything fun, anything
Right.
more than dick and vagina, then you gotta upgrade. So yeah, the first customer was he was a little Indian man.
Ooh, child.
He came in, I introduced myself. Then you just go and sit, and then once he's met everybody, he'll go to the desk and say, who he's interested in. So then they call you on like uh the monitor or whatever the thing
The
is.
intercom.
Intercom.
Mm-hmm.
And they call me up. I was like, oh shit.
It was like, we want diamond.
I know, like it's my first booking. Oh my God. So, and like, I wasn't nervous. I was just like, I was doing a lot of mental checks. Like, okay, if I feel like really terrible about my life tomorrow morning, like I won't do it again. Like,
I
we'll,
know you
we'll
was like, bitch,
evaluate.
you was like, bitch, you really about to do this?
Yeah. So, cause like, everyone's had like, I mean, I've had casual sex before. I've had like
Right.
random sex, I've had like couple one night stand, whatever, you live your life. But this was like a complete, and I've been in the situation where I meet someone, I show off how cute I am, and they give me money, but in a strip club.
Right.
So it's different. They're taking you for a lap dance, not to have sex.
Right.
So to be taken upstairs to then go have sex with someone that I just met, it was like, So anyway, we went upstairs. All the rooms have this little light that extends off the wall, like a little tiny little
Mm-hmm.
light kind of. And you have to do a health check. So you bring the customer over and you gotta check his goods. You gotta like use the light to like make sure like his balls look good, his dick looks good, like there's nothing crazy, it doesn't smell weird, like
Oh,
it,
wow.
and
Was he
if it
big?
looks no,
Okay.
no, it wasn't, not this guy. Um And then if you look at someone sick and you're like, I don't want to have sex with you, like you can literally turn them down. You can even call in another girl and be like, hey, yo, come look at this. Like, what's
Right.
thing? Would you do it? Like, okay, no, okay. Like you can really fuck with them. Like, go ahead. I'd suck that, get it. But you do all that, and it's like, it's kind of awkward because you're like playing a doctor real quick, and then the customer goes and takes a shower. They have to shower, even if they just came from home and showered before they came, like they have to shower. And then while they do that, I go downstairs, I collect my money, I collect, any lube or condoms, a bag to put trash, anything else. And then you go back upstairs, and I get up there, and he's like, this is an Indian man. Like, he cooks Indian food.
I know where you're going with this.
You can smell it. Like, when I first, like, before he got in the shower, I was like, all right, I can deal with that. And in my other job, I get very close to people too, but not in a sexual way. So I know bodies. I know, working in like fitness and that kind of stuff, and working with kids, like people have smells, and like I work close with people. So like it wasn't that crazy, but I didn't even think, it like didn't occur to me before like work started. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna be sleeping with all types of people.
Yeah.
Not your just regular like people of this country, but like from all
over. Right.
And, you can't, like, most people, you won't sleep with someone if they don't look good, if you're not attracted to their face and their body. So I like, because I've already danced and like experienced that, where I'm choosing people not based on their looks and my preferences, and can still have a good time. It was kind of easy to make that transition, like to just, we can either be dancing or we're having sex, and it's quick. It's always quick, it's always quick. And then that's how you get them too, because when it's quick, they want to go again. Then they got to pay up.
Right.
You got to know how to put down on them. But
okay, listen, I know that pussy over there can do some things, baby.
listen, she'll
wait. So once you're done, like how was that experience? Like once you was like, when you was like going through with it, like what were you thinking?
So with this particular customer, like I remember I brought him in. I said, oh, would you like a massage? Like, I don't even give massages, but it just like kills time. Put them on their stomach, you're like massages back. He was so hairy. Which I don't mind, but it was just like, this is different. Like, you're like sitting on this person, like massaging them and like working them. I wasn't necessarily like turned on, but like I kind of learned to get turned on by the idea of it all.
Right.
Just like mentally, this is stimulating. I'm like about to like shut it down on this guy for X amount of dollars, and like I don't have to talk to him ever again.
Right.
So, but going through it, it was I was thinking like doing a mental checklist, like, is this okay for you? Like, are you good out? Like, just kind of like making sure I'm like in a good headspace, which I was. And then just like thinking of like, how do you make this like a really unforgettable experience so they'll want to come back, so you can create, like, I was just kind of like working up a game plan. Like, how can I use my skills from like club life and like slide over here and like
and build your clientele up.
Yeah, and just like get in and feel like I'm having fun. It's not just like a robotic thing. Like, you gotta move it, right? But yeah, afterwards, like it was very short, and then afterwards we just talked, and I told him, I was like, oh, you're my first customer. Like, I'm here from the United States. He's like, oh my God, we did so good. Like, that was great. And of course they're telling you how like beautiful you are and cool you are, and like a lot of people want to know, like, especially because I wasn't from that country. They're like, well, what are you doing here? Like, so then you're like telling stories, and like, it's fun.
But I also feel like it's kind of intimate too. Like,
It is.
yeah. And
It's
not just intimate sexually, but like,
yeah, because you're
right.
like shutting off from the whatever it is that these people come in for. Like a lot of them are coming after work, before work, after a night out at the bar. Like you just went out with your boys. You don't want to harass bitch. Like you don't harass people at the bar and try to get them to come sleep with you and then like deal with that in the morning. You just want to like go bust a nut and like go home.
Right.
Like, why not go down the street to this place and meet someone that you can interact with for 30 minutes? Because that's really all you need.
Yeah.
And be on your way. So there were, I had a lot of good conversations. Silly, people are great.
That's how I know you from up north, because you want to say harass bitches.
I did. Oh my God.
Like, come on, bitch. You know how we talk up
I
here.
know, and I don't want, other people, we don't say things like that anymore, but yeah, harass bitches, like,
So up north, like bitches is like saying niggas.
yeah, I'm not trying to be mean, like,
Yeah, so if she slip up, y'all, it's a term of endearment, because
yeah,
I always say bitches.
yeah, I'm not trying to be like, you know,
Right.
yeah.
Wait, you mentioned that there were rules. What were the rules at the brothel?
Let's see, what were the rules? No unprotected sex.
Definitely.
They really like, no unprotected sex. I really think that's it. Like no drugs, obviously, like no drugs or, alcohol. There were some brothels that did have like bars like
Mm,
downstairs and like they allowed drinking, but not all of them were the same. So the one I was in, you know, no drinks. Unless someone's like they're coming in, they're paying for the like, hey, this guy's coming, he's paying me X amount of dollars, he wants to bring champagne, he's gonna be here for 4 hours. Like,
right.
you know what I mean? But um, and I've had people come in with like their weed pen and like, I've had people smoke cigarettes, even though you're not supposed to. It's fucking
Right.
gross. But as far as like rules on what you did behind your closed door, like you could really do whatever you want. Like, you know,
Mm.
as long as you weren't doing anything illegal, like illegal drugs and, you know, like that's it.
Right. Were you the only Black girl there?
No, so there were a few. Two of them were African, but they lived in that country.
Mm.
Um, I think there was another African American in there, like at one point. But no, I wasn't. There was girls from all over, and like I was so nervous. I thought they were all gonna be like these bombshell, like big titty, like
Right.
white girl or like from Eastern Europe or something. And
The blue eyes.
I mean, there were a lot of the girls in there were like, a lot of them were gay,
Mm-hmm.
and had girlfriends, but they did this for
Oh
work. A lot
wow.
of, yeah, didn't even think of that. There was
Yeah,
a
me
lot of,
either.
yeah, right. I'm like, okay, so I get it though. You don't like dick romantically, but you'll take dick and like perform for money and for a job. And like, a lot of them like hate men. So they're gonna like
Right.
lead them on, do whatever. So
But they gotta be somewhat confusing, because you can't control the body if it reacts a certain way.
yeah. And I do remember talking to one girl and she said she connects better with women. She's always loved women. But she also like was a dancer and
Right.
moved over into the brothel. And then being that it's looked at differently in the country that they're in, it was kind of like uh it's just like another gig, you know.
Right.
You kind of look at sex as like sometimes I would look at it as like a sport. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
performing a sport with an end goal. My end goal is to get this person off and like have as much fun in this chunk of time.
Right.
And it's not like you got to be able to take away like the romantic part of it and the sex is only for procreating.
Right.
um but yeah.
And what was your schedule like? Because I know you said that you changed your shift, but like, did you do this every day or?
I worked, it depends. Like some weeks I would work maybe 3 days or 3 nights. I worked in the beginning, it was like 5. I would go in at 5, but then eventually I started working like 10 to 2. There were times where you would just be like, I've pulled 12-hour days there
Oh,
before. There
wow.
were some times where I was like, I lost track of time, and you're just in it. And like, even if you're not working the whole time, like you might sit there and like I'd bring my laptop. So it's like, all right, well, no one's coming in right now. It's kind of dead. I'm just gonna sit here for 3 hours on my computer.
Right.
And then someone might pop in, like, and just to fuck around, because no one knows me out here. I don't have a life. I do what I want. I'm traveling. There were times where I just be in there all day, and I'm just like, all right, you tell down to the desk, like, I'm off for a couple hours. I'm gonna take a nap up in one of these here rooms.
Right.
I'm gonna run out and get some lunch. I'll be back. And if someone comes in, you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, put me back in the rotation or whatever, like whatever. But you kind of made your own schedule. It was tough though. Like I will say, we're meant to sleep at night and be up during the day. So
Mm-hmm.
it was tough trying to be productive during the day and like work out and all of that, and then go into work at 10 and then get off when the sun's coming up. But then like when you get up or when you get off, sometimes you can't make it sleep right away. So now you're
Right.
up, and now it's 11, and now you're like, fuck, I didn't sleep, and I gotta work and get ready at 7. Like my sleep
Right.
got a little janky for a minute. But then you just take days off.
Right. Did you feel like it was a competitive spirit there? Because I can only imagine how many girls were there.
No, not at all. And that's why I was so chill, because if you're in a club, you're competing, you're up, you're walking around, you gotta get.
Right.
But here, you just go in. Anybody, this is me. Anybody want? Okay, cool. I'll be over here. Call me. Like you don't have to like convince anybody anything,
Mm.
because I mean, guys just want to get off.
Right.
Even when you're telling them you're special, like your service, like they don't give a fuck. Like, come on, I'll give you the extra whatever dollars anyway. Just like,
Right. Like you
up.
can get that nut and go. Right.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? So it wasn't, and then the girls there was never like, oh, she's sleeping with my customer or whatever. Not that I experienced,
Right.
sometimes you have someone that will sleep with one girl and then go right back downstairs and like pick another one and
Oh,
just like
wow.
get like 3 of them in real quick and go home. Yeah.
Damn. So what did a good week look like for you?
A good week.
Mm-hmm.
The most I made in 1 week was about, and that was maybe like 4 shifts. I want to say like $8,000, $9,000.
Bitch. $8,000 for 4 niggas?
Oh no, nights, days.
Oh, 4 days. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
still
yeah.
good though. $8,000?
Yeah. I made a lot of money in a very short amount of time when I was over there. Now, obviously, when I didn't convert to what it,
Right.
whatever the money, the conversion kind of made it look like less. But for what I'm over there, doing, I'm traveling. I'm literally just hanging out with people at night and getting paid.
Right. So wait, so how much, because you was there for 3 months, how much did you make in 3 months?
Um,
Y'all, she about to flex on us. Yo,
Don't
bitch is
the
about to
IRS know, but no, I'm kidding. I would
bitch is about
say
to be after this episode, bitch is gonna be at the brothels, man.
I know be flying out. I want to say in that 3 month time, I made about like $35,000.
What?
Which converted to like 20 some thousand, maybe a little less.
Mm.
Now I don't know what it would convert to because this was years ago, but yeah, it was lit.
How much did you have to pay the brothel? Like, how is that system set up?
So they would you'd have your set, whatever the price was, and just like at the club, they get a certain percentage.
Right.
And then whatever they upgrade, like if a customer does the deluxe or upgrade, you keep all that, or any tip, you keep all that. So sometimes you might just get a basic, booking, and then by the end of it, you've made like an extra couple hundred, or, extra to here, extra whatever there, just in tips and, talking, having a conversation. The person might be like, oh, you're cool. Here's an extra $100. Go get your nails done. Like, but the club had their set percentage that they would take, which was fair. It wasn't as much,
because I know in Nevada they take they do 50% off at 1%.
No,
Yeah.
it was less than that. Like, I wouldn't have been Nevada. Like, I've never worked in the US doing that. This was just a moment in my experiences. But I feel like what I've heard about Nevada is it's very like, I always hear negative things. Like, they take a lot of money, you have no life, you can't leave, they make you work. Like, I always hear negative things.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna say the owner name, but this nigga is taking 50% off and you gotta fuck him. I said, come on now.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
See, the place I worked at was owned by a woman.
Well, there you go.
Owned by a woman. I did work. I went to another city one weekend and worked at a different place. They took a little bit more money. I think it was run by men. It was just like different. I feel like I got really lucky with the place I went to. It was so laid back and chill, and like the people that ran it were just chill. Like, then when I went to the other one, it was in like another city. I'm like, I wonder what the rest of them are like. If I go to this city or that city, like, are they more like in your pockets and in your shit? But I got pretty blessed with a good one.
Yeah. So what are some things that you wouldn't do?
So I am not a fan of like anal.
Yeah, I ain't doing no anal.
No, I'm not trying to think. No anal. I mean, as far as like any of the um like the fetish stuff, like, or like whips and chains and all that, like, you can like tie me up a little bit. I don't mind like certain things like that, but I feel like anal was the biggest, and I didn't let people go down on me. And
Yeah.
certain people, like, there were people that were recurring customers, or like, you just get like a feeling, and you're just like, fuck it, I trust it, and then you don't regret it. But not not every person could, like, and I didn't kiss unless like they paid me extra.
So
And it's hard to like have sex when you're not kissing. So,
right.
yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, because kissing is kind of intimate. So
Mhm.
and you don't know where niggas' mouths been.
Right. And like,
Right.
we did provide like toothbrushes and floss and like mouthwash in the rooms too. Um but yeah, anything else I wouldn't do? I don't think so. Really just like anal.
But when they go down on you, are they using because they have like condoms for the tongue, right?
They have dental dams, yeah.
Yeah.
They do have dental dams.
So what type of clients did you have?
But so everybody, like, I mean, there were like, I took a lot of virginities.
Wow.
I did. I took a lot of virginities. People coming from the office, people coming from school, people that just everyday people just coming and going. I mean, people from India, Asia, Africa, all over the world. I'm a lot of people didn't know where I was from, like, by looking at me, which kind
Yeah.
of helped, because then they're like, oh, I guess I gotta find out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just people, young, old, not too, I don't think I really had been with anyone like super old.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like, all, I would say between the ages of like 18, which you had to be to get in, and like, 65.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, people from all over, really. Just
Wow.
every day. And then you'd be like, dang, like, everyday people, and they just walking down the street, and they go in this building, and here they're getting their dick sucked. That's crazy. And then me too, like, I would leave work and just be a regular ass bitch, and like I'd get off early, so I'd go get breakfast and like go do some errands, and I'd just be out and about. Like no one even knows that I was just up like fucking 10 different people last night. Like it's
Right.
just like crazy to think about. Like,
That's what I'm saying. You just can't judge a book by its cover. Like,
oh no.
wow, how many pretty dicks have you seen? I know you've seen a lot of
Oh
pretty dicks.
man.
I know. I haven't
There
seen a
were
pretty
some
dick
good
in a
ones.
minute. Yes.
I would say I saw more not so good ones. Like not like there's some pretty ones, but um a lot of like different shapes and sizes. And I think I want to like write a book about this or like make something about this because there's so many dick sizes. Like, you have the ones that that like go in or like an innie belly button. Like a innie outie kind of situation. They're usually found on people that have a little bit more like belly fat in like the fupa area. Um,
Yo, I wish y'all could see our faces.
uh, but yeah, a lot of because of I wasn't in the US, a lot of people were not circumcised.
Ooh, we.
Which I mean I've dealt with that like in my personal life before. Like I had a partner, way before I was working at Brothel that wasn't circumcised. So there's a lot of that.
Oh no, I don't know if I like any extra meat, child.
Yeah, it sometimes it's a lot like girl, and like I hate stereotypes and shit, but
I
I had a guy from Africa come
I
in,
already knew it.
and oh my god, like we had to cancel because it just wasn't going in.
Yeah, because it's too goddamn big, all that extra meat.
Big. It was so big. We had to cancel. And he just went on and like picked somebody else, but it was just like, I mean, it was like
Oh my God. No,
so
we
big.
have to describe how big is that? That's like like a
The
can,
size of a
a jar.
ball, a mason jar opening.
Oh, he would have fucked your shit up.
I know. I was just like lube and all that. I'm like I got in the shower. I'm like, listen, the
Nah,
money back. I don't know what to tell you.
nah. What was your favorite experience?
Oh,
Oh, you was in love with this one.
I only remember because I was just writing about it the other day, or like rereading some of the stuff that I've been writing. So I'm writing a book about this, and about my basically taking my journal entries from that time and turning them into like short stories.
Oh
About
yes, listen,
night.
however I can support. That's amazing.
So I had someone. Oh man, I don't know his name. Like he was never seen him before. Just kind of came in at like 5:30, strolling in the morning. Just like I just remember being like half awake and like, oh, there's someone here. They want to hang. Okay, and it was just like the energy that went between us was like something I hadn't experienced. And this was a stranger, so it was just like we barely even spoke words to each other, but we just had like this really good energy. And like I like broke the rules, like I let him go down on me. So I was just like, ah, I just remember being mesmerized after he left. He was Greek. And he
Mm.
had like oh, he was cute too. He was Greek, really cute. Barely spoke any words. Like we barely exchanged words. It was just like energy.
Mm.
And I'll never forget that. And like when he left, I think he worked in like construction or something where you get up early as hell. Like he's up early, he's going into work. He on like a vest, like a bright orange, like like vest or something, like work boots, like steel toe boots.
Mm.
And he came in for 45 minutes, and yeah, that was it was like a thief in the night or some shit. He just came in like, oh, I know what happened. He made me swear all over the place.
Oh wow. That's why your ass over there grinning.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I forgot to throw that in there. That I had like an amazing orgasm. It was just like, and you don't really have them when you're. I mean, I didn't have them every time. It was just kind of like,
Right.
get you off and get you on your way. But
Right.
to be able to have like a really good one. And like I had to like flip the mattress when I was done and like notify the front desk, like you may want to get someone up there.
Girl. Now you should have been giving him some money.
I know. I'm like, shit, let me tip you. Come back.
Did he ever come back?
I never saw him again. That was towards the end of my time there. So maybe within a few weeks I was like done exploring that country, but yeah, I
Right.
never came back.
Wow.
There were a few where it was just like just really nice, or like the conversation was cool, and then they end up extending their stay, and next thing you know you're just like laying around, like not even having sex, just like laying around and like talking and laughing and like being ridiculous, and then all right, nice to meet you, have a nice day.
Wow. What was your worst experience?
Oh man, let's see. My worst. I can't think of any in particular, but I do know that there were times where it was like if someone came in and they were just super wasted, it's like Friday night, like 3 a.m., and they're coming in with all their boys, and like, it's when people are just like trying to kiss you and that you don't want them to kiss you, and you're just,
Right.
I just need you to come get the fuck out of here, or like you got coke dick now and here you are. It's like,
Right.
that was my problem. Like you got to go. Like, your coke dick is now my issue. Like please.
Right.
Those like more like annoying occurrences where you get like, you know, someone that's just like off their shit. You're like, would you hurry? Or then they don't come. You're like, all right, well, I don't, no one told you to come in here with whiskey dick. Like I don't know what to tell
Right.
you.
I feel like when you think about like sex brothels, I feel like they get a really bad rep. And I also think it depends on how you view things and with everything that's going on and just your views on sex and when it comes to sex work. But I feel like for the most part, the research I've been reading, I feel like a lot of women are saying like they feel safe and protected.
Yeah. I mean, because you could easily go do that job and work out of a motel or a hotel or your house, or like,
Right.
I've knew of girls in the clubs that would like, sell themselves in the clubs even though you're not supposed to, or meet people later, and like shit gets sketchy, but
Right.
if you're in an establishment where it's protected, there's security, cameras, not in your room, but there's cameras, and people know that if they go in there and start acting up, they're gonna get arrested and thrown out. So it's like you're only dealing with people that are safe,
Right.
as you're safe as long as you're in that space. Now, if you decide you want to meet someone you met at work outside of work, now that's
That's on
on you.
you. Right.
Not saying that we weren't allowed to, but they can't protect you if you're not on their property.
Right.
Yeah.
And what made you decide to leave?
I was coming back to the United States anyway. Like my visa was up. I was coming back to the States, but yeah, it was expiring. So I wouldn't have been legally allowed to work anyway.
Mm. Would you go back?
Hell yeah, I almost went back a couple years ago. I called, I'm like, yo, this is so and so. Remember I was there in 2000 and whatever. I'm like, if I come over, but I don't have a work visa, like, can I still work? And they're like, we would love to have you because you're amazing, but that's illegal.
Right, right.
I'm like, all right, fine.
But if you was to get another visa, you would go back.
I mean, if I could, like, now at this stage in my life, I don't know. Like, I think that was more of like I wouldn't move my life over there to go do that. Like that was more of like in the moment while I'm here and this
Right.
is allowed to go down, let me give it a go. But no.
Mm. And is it hard for you to be intimate in your personal life?
No,
No?
no, I feel like that I learned so much from that job, about myself, about my stance on like sexual empowerment. I learned a lot about men, about their bodies, about like, I mean, because you're sitting there, you're talking to people about their relationships sometimes, and it's like, I feel like all of the experiences I've had in, in the club and in that environment has really built like this confidence and like, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for is. But, when I'm in my personal situations, like, I know how to make people feel good. I know what I like to feel good. It feels good to make people feel good.
Right.
It feels good knowing that people think you look good and
Mhm.
feel good. You know what I mean? Like all of that
Yeah. It's
feels,
intoxicating.
yeah, it's intoxicating.
Mm. So last but not least, what would you say is the biggest lesson you learned about men from working at the sex brothel?
They're simple.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Simple ass niggas.
Simple ass niggas. And I don't even want to like simple as like, oh my God, you're stupid. But like, no, I'm not gonna say stupid. They're simple
Right.
in many ways. What's the biggest thing I've learned?
Because I know you had like a lot of like, oh my God, like aha moments.
I think I learned more about myself too. But I would say like for men, yeah, they're simple. They need certain things. A lot of them view sex in a way that they don't live. Like a lot of them, might be in a relationship. I don't want to say a lot, but might be in like a monogamous relationship. But like to them, like sex is like, okay. Like it's not just for one person. Like I've had those conversations where people are like, yeah, like I don't know, I'm married, I love my wife, but like it's just sex. Like a lot of people have that view, which I did not really think that way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, think that men were thinking that way.
Mm.
Maybe it was the cultures I was dealing with too, and like just being in a different country. But you had a lot of people that were not, single
Right.
there.
Well, does that make you look at men differently?
Mm, not really, because I feel like not everything is like black and white. Nothing is or isn't. It's gray,
Yeah.
I can't judge people by what they want to do, what they do, whether they're cheating or just fulfilling a need or whatever. Like I try really hard to just be like, it is what it is. Like that's what you're
Right.
doing. I can't say if I look at you differently. Like it is what it is.
Right. Okay, last but not least again. So what's the biggest thing you learned about yourself then?
Um, see, the biggest thing I learned about myself. Ooh, dang, there's something I want to say some things, but I mean, this is anonymous.
Yeah, say it.
The biggest thing I learned about myself is that my experiences have definitely affected me being a sex worker, whether it was dancing or that little stint in a brothel. Like it definitely changes um my view on like, relationships, gender roles, sex, like everything. And I'm learning how to navigate that, and I'm learning how do I put other people in my life in a romantic way, or does it have to be a romantic way? Like I've been really learning about like who am I as a partner or as a, lover or whatever. Um
Nah, you gotta expound on that.
I
Come on now. Cause I'm over here like, come on.
let's see. I'm a man eater.
Mm-hmm.
That's what comes to mind first, but it sounds negative. So I need to change that term. I definitely have learned how to get what I want
Right.
with what I got,
Right.
sexual form. Um, and just really trying to like, and this is why I'm writing that book too, because it's like there's so much there's so much to unpack. Like what is the cause? Like why did I jump into the sex life in the first place? You
Right.
know? But doing the work and then seeing the way it affects the people I work with, it's like, it's all good.
Right. Where do you think that stemmed from though?
It's funny, I was thinking about that when I was just today when I was like thinking about this interview, and like, because I figured you'd ask me that question, like, where
You
does
know
this
I'm
come
gonna get to the bottom of
from?
it.
Yeah. I don't know, but I wrote it down because that's definitely something I want to talk to my my therapist about,
Yeah.
my spiritual healer. I feel like it doesn't come from a most people would think, strippers and sex workers, they have like a void that they're trying to fill, so that they go into this line of work and they're trying to get something. They got daddy issues or like whatever, and it's like, or they need to feel loved, or like, I don't think it's any of that. I think it just stems from like knowing, like having that like sexual power,
Mm-hmm.
knowing where women, as women, we're always put down, and we're, you know, told we can't do something, and, men get to do everything, and to be able to just like
Be in
be,
control.
yeah, be in control in like so many different ways. In the bed, outside the bed, in the club, it's just like, it feels good.
Right.
Like, I don't think it comes from lacking love or lacking, something, or like running away from something. Like, I think it's literally just like, I'm the fucking shit.
Right. But I'm
What
thinking
can I
about
do?
it too, because I've been going to therapy on and off for like
Hmm.
over 6 years. I love my therapist. Shout out to
Yeah.
her. And a lot of things that we like to do, it does stem from somewhere. We just don't know until we like really like. Because
Hmm.
it's a reason why you want to be in control and you like how it makes you feel, and like,
Hmm.
it's easy. You ain't gotta deal with people. You just get what you want and keep it moving. But
Hmm.
then it comes a fine line where it's like, is it healthy though?
Yeah. And see, that's where I always make sure, as I go through life and do certain things, I do stop and I reflect a lot, like,
Yeah.
is this gonna mess me up? Like, is this unhealthy? Like, how will this affect me later?
Right.
After my first night at the brothel, I literally went home and I wrote about it, and I was just like, you know, we'll come back to this and see how I feel, and like and going through my journal and reading, like, where I was at those times, like, it seemed pretty, I seemed pretty healthy and like
Right.
quite in control. Like, sometimes you think you're in control, but you're actually out of control,
Right.
doing the most and shit. Like,
Right.
'cause every time I was like, am I doing the most? I don't think so. I think we're good.
Right. Wait, I'm just curious. How did your siblings know about this, right?
So I told them like years later, like after, they're just like, oh, okay. Like, one of my sisters was like, oh yeah, I mean, I kind of figure, like, I didn't doubt it. I wasn't like assuming, but like, yeah. And they're just like, yeah, why not? Like, if it's not illegal and you feel good about it.
As long as you're safe.
Yeah. And it's like, for me, like, I don't know if that could be my career. Like, I met women who have been doing it for like 10 years. Like, I don't know if I can, that's a lot of dick. That's a lot of fucking,
Yeah.
but you take breaks. You make good money and you take breaks too. I mean, that's what I did with dancing. I would make good money and then I'd take like 6 months off and focus
Right.
on other projects and other jobs. But yeah, the siblings were like, more power to you.
I
You
ain't
know.
gonna lie. I interview a lot of sex workers, man. And the
Hmm.
money, oh my God. Amazing.
Hmm. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, you do have your seasons where it's not as lucrative, but that's like
Right.
any other sales job, I guess, or service job. So,
Right. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show to share your story. I mean, I know this is gonna do
no
numbers
worries.
because
I know.
I don't know too many people that's interviewing women of color who's getting
Yeah,
money.
this is true.
I
But
appreciate you.
I just want, it's important. Like I said before, it's important to have these conversations and like just put things out there, because people have questions, people make assumptions about everything, about all the topics that you've brought on, and just to, clear the air for anything, or just say like, hey, here's my experience. Like, whatever you saw on TV or whatever Netflix show you were watching might not depict the real.
Right.
So,
Wait, do you think that one day sex brothels will be more legal in more states?
I hope so. I mean,
Yeah, listen, PhD don't work out, y'all.
you need a madam. We about to open a brothel.
Listen, no,
Okay.
you know what's so funny? I do want to interview a madam.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna happen though, because I feel it because I'm getting closer and closer to certain people and my friends that are sex workers, they hold
Mhm.
me down. So I'm like, come on, y'all.
Okay. I don't know. See, I don't know any like brothels in the US, just
Yeah.
overseas, but they out here, I'm sure but see, I feel like a lot of them might be on some illegal shit, but this is anonymous, so it's fine.
Yeah, and then I probably have to alter their voice for protection reasons.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah, I can figure it out. I ain't trying to mess nobody's shit up.
I know, right? Get them taken down.
Right. But yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate you, and definitely when you are ready to share your book, I hope I'm one of the first people to read
Oh yeah, definitely.
and have
Coming,
you back on the show.
I'm trying to get it done. I think next year it'll be out there. So,
Yes, yes. Well,
mhm.
if y'all have any questions or comments or concerns, or you want to say, hey, girl, hey, please email me at hello@thephgpodcast.com. And until next time, everyone, later.
Bye. Practice safe sex.
Yes. Don't let these don't let these niggas nut in y'all
No, we ain't doing that.
unless it's the
Stop.
right one. No, I'm just playing. Safe sex, y'all.
Mhm.